Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Starcraft 2 replay cast. Today it's a 1 vs 1 on Lerilak Crest between our red Zerg player, Nerchio, and up top our blue Zerg player, Nedi. And we're going to speed this up to the 2x mark. So all the good stuff starts to occur, spawning pools going up, all that. And an early pool from Nerchio, and not so much from his opponent. Nedi, and of course this is Lerilak Crest, so there are 4 possible spawn points, but it appears they have already found each other. And now Zerglings moving in on Nerchio's expansion here, and will start to cause a little bit of damage, but shouldn't be too big of a deal, as it's just Zerglings attaching a hatchery, attacking the hatchery, and now Nedi's expansion is going up, but a little bit later than Nerchio, so Nerchio will have that economic advantage just as soon as he can shoo away these Zerglings here, and they are doing quite a bit of damage here, now down to much less than half health, and additional Zerglings now here, and are now much speedier here, and this hatchery may actually fall here, and Banelings connect all over the place, blow each other up. And all these Zerglings from Nedi have fallen here. Now trying to make it into the main base of Nerchio. Did take out 1 or 2 drones there. And I did take out a 3rd one, perhaps. And Queen now surrounded. We'll lose this Queen. And that will set him back a little bit. We'll have to make another Queen now to keep up with that larvae and or tumor production. And now, of course, Zerg versus Zerg, so usually revolves around those Banelings. As you can see, making Banelings now, and metabolic boost coming from Nerchio a little bit later than Nedi's, as he did use that rushing strategy, but didn't really accomplish all that much with that strategy. Did do a lot of damage to this hatchery. It is very, very low at 261 HP. So it is very vulnerable right now, but could easily be transfused in an emergency situation. And as for the units right now, 5 Zerglings, 2 Banelings for Nedi, and 6 and 4 respectively for Nerchio there. Now picking a spine crawler to stall any additional rushing, as it wouldn't really take too much to take this hatchery down. So it is in a vulnerable position. I didn't actually think it would take that much damage from those Zerglings. I thought that you'd be able to respond a little bit faster than that. Now those Banelings fall. 2 Banelings. 1 Baneling takes out a couple of Zerglings there. And not the greatest trade, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Spinecrawler going up for Nedi now of his own. And a little bit in a more of an awkward position. A little bit more to stop anything from going in the main base there. But a little bit far out from his expansion and his drones. And I think I like the placement a little bit better for Nerchio. His is a little bit more in there. Very similar, but it seems that Nedi's is a little further up. A second expansion is going up for Nerchio now. So he will definitely have quite the economic advantage. Creep Tumor also coming up, and a Roach Warren for Nerchio. And I don't believe any such Warren. Looks like a Spire is coming for Nedi now. And Extractor's up and going strong here, making the other Extractor. And does not seem like a second expansion is coming up at all for Nedi at the moment. And I'm wondering when he's going to be getting on that, and he's getting on it right now. Speak of the devil. And Zergling's trying to run away here and get eaten up by the bigger pile. Survival of the mostest in terms of the Zerg versus Zerg. And not only survival of the mostest, which isn't really a word, I'm aware, but survival of the efficient Baneling hits as well. That's usually the way that Zerg versus Zerg goes, until somebody ends up transitioning into roaches, and lurkers is usually a good way to end a Zerg versus Zerg experience, as lurkers will just annihilate somebody's Zerglings. And now 1 Baneling here, and it looks like this Zergling will take out this 1 Baneling, and that is going to be a good trade there. 1 Baneling, if you can kill the Baneling with a Zergling, that is a very, very good trade. And this lair is still spewing blood all over the place. It's a wonder how much blood it actually has to spew out there. It's a very large biological structure, so I suppose it does have quite a bit. But its clotting factor is just not that good. And so now, a few roaches out on the field for Nerchio. And units, 9 Mutalisks for Nedi, 4 roaches for Nerchio, 5 banelings to 2 banelings. And pretty similar overall, more Zerglings, as Nerchio has no Zerglings at the moment. And in production, additional Mutalisks still coming, and not really making any roaches now. Did spot that there are Mutalisks, so he is making those spore crawlers, or at least maybe he assumes there are Mutalisks out in the field, so he's already gathering those spore crawlers. Doesn't have a spore crawler in there. No, he just now starting to make one there, and now bringing all of his queens together. Has 5 total queens here, and 5 queens will do wonders against all these Mutalisks. And there goes the transfusion, saving that 1 queen, and those Mutalisks have to back off. 5 queens is quite the handful to deal with just the limited amount of Mutalisks that he has. And so we'll see what he decides to do with them. It seems like Mutalisks, if you can't really get the drop on your opponent with these spore crawlers out, they're not really going to be all that useful, at least in attempting these attacks on your opponent's base like this. Perhaps out in the field they will be more useful. 1 queen falls there. And I think that may have been a bit unnecessary. Could have stayed back a little bit there. Now going to move past these spore crawlers here, and is actually getting at the Hydrolist down the infestation pit, and getting hit a little bit by that spore crawler. But as long as he stays back as far as he can stay away from them. But now forcing his opponent to move around a little bit here. And we'll see if he decides to make any more spore crawlers, but he doesn't really want to overcommit and lose too many drones to that process. And units now, Nerchio up to 6 queens, and has a bunch of Hydralisks out in the field. Now 7 Hydralisks and 8 for Nedi at the moment. So actually has a little bit more Hydralisks than his opponent does. And you're going to use those Hydralisks eventually to deal with these Mutalisks. And also, of course, Hydralisks just do so much damage. And Spore Crawler is moved a little bit, moved all the way to the edge, and that is definitely a wise idea to move that a little bit more. And perhaps this Spore Crawler could be moved to this block here, and it would definitely reach there, and it would also still cover very well, because he's got these queens to be able to cover anything that moves over on this way. And there goes Spore Crawler hitting it. I think that Spore Crawler might be actually fine there. And Hatchery trying to be created here by Nerchio, and it is under attack. And will it be developed? These Hydralisks will do so much damage to these Mutalisks. Is he just giving these Mutalisks away? No, he's going to try and finish off these Hydralisks, and he does. And that is definitely good, but lost quite a bit in that process. But here come the Queens now, and going to force those Mutalisks out of there. And this Hatchery should go up just fine. Now, Nedi, a somewhat hidden Hatchery. It's a very odd position for a Hatchery, and I think he's just putting it here to try and juke out his opponent. And because who would suspect the Hatchery all the way up here, except for, of course, some kind of Mutalisks that were going up there and trying to go around, but who knows. We do have some Vipers out of the field here for the Zerg player Nerchio. Yes, both of them are technically Zerg players, so I suppose that doesn't help, but for Nerchio. And Roach is now moving out. Gonna check this expansion. Nothing there. So really just has, as far as he knows at the moment, just has these 2 expansions. You're gonna spot it with this Roach here. Lurkers all in the ground there. Take out that Roach. It's just for scouting to spot that out. But does he know that this is here or not? I don't believe he does. And as far as his vision, he only sees those two expansions there. But Nedi has a far better view of the battlefield than Nerchio does, as he sees everything that Nerchio has, but Nerchio does not see everything Nedi has. So we'll see how that comes into play in a moment here. And are any Spore Crawlers going to be coming up here? I would like to see that, because that is very vulnerable right now. It doesn't look like there are any more Mutalisks being created. Just 1 Mutalisk. After a while, you just end up stopping the creation of Mutalisks anyway, but just for safety purposes. So now these Vipers here are going to try and yoink some of those bigger Zerg units, perhaps those Lurkers. And looks like he may have spotted this now. And we'll see if he actually sees it. No, he must just suspect that is up there, and he does. Finds it. And now this expansion really wasn't all that worth it. He really didn't make his money back with just what he had there. And the Viper, the Defiler of Starcraft 2. And I would actually probably like to see Defilers back in Starcraft 2, but I guess they made them the Viper, which is, I suppose, a more efficient model. And now mass chainlings moving into the base here, and they are spotted, but he's going to get around some of these units. And tons of Ultralists out now for Nedi and those lurkers as well. So what is Nerchio to do about that? And now moving back to his base, Nerchio does have the superior income by far in terms of 1,600-ish income there to only about 1,900 or so. So way, way better for Nerchio at the moment. So I think right now Nedi has to do an all-in. If he does not destroy Nerchio in this attack, he's really just not going to make it. I think he messed up by getting that expansion there at the top right. It was kind of a clever idea, but once it got spotted, it was not efficient enough. And now here comes the Ultralisk, just getting mangled by those lurkers in the back there. And so much damage on those Ultralisks, they just can't take that, and instantly destroyed. That was a massive defeat for Nedi, and one of the worst beatings I've seen on a Zerg vs. Zerg, and that was just unbelievable. He lost that entire army in the blink of an eye, and I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do to come back from that. That was an incredible hold by Nerchio there. Those lurkers just tore up those Ultralisks so badly that, wow, I am somewhat speechless now. Nedi expanding over here, which I think he should have done all along, because now he is way behind Nerchio. Now Nerchio has another expansion. Nerchio now moving out towards Nedi's side here, and just 3 Ultralisks here. These aren't going to do much at all. And the lurkers just do so much damage to those Ultralisks there. Just too much. And there they go. They fall before they even get the chance to do all that much damage. And now Nerchio on the way to Nedi's base here, and one Ultralisk got a time coming here. And I have no idea what that means. Sure, why not? I'm sure somebody does, but that's okay. But it looks like the end for Nedi here. There's just no way I see him coming back from this. He just did not expand the way that Nerchio did, and because of that, didn't have the funds to really deal with this incoming army. Once he lost his own army, he didn't have the hatcheries really to keep replacing the larvae needed for that. But that was GG. Nerchio wins the game. Nedi has GG'd out, and that was one of the worst defeats I think I've seen in StarCraft history. That was unbelievable. It might as well have just gotten triple nuked over here. He just ran directly into all of those lurkers there, and it was an unbelievable beating. But I hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I'll see you guys next time.